Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking for your non-listening audience, presentation skills for the professional, and how to deal with the media and win. I also train in crisis communication. Many of my other presentations can be found on my website. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a rock star keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. My best-selling books, Speak Without Fear and Perfecting Your Platform, are both on Amazon and Audible. My series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, are available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. I've got a great theme for today, and it's this. Friend, be sure you put your feet in the right place. It's a good one. I hope you'll stay with me. I'll be right back. You know, it's a fact of life that sometimes you fall. You just hope that when you fall, you don't fall into the water on a leadership training excursion. A few years ago, I was with some friends and we were doing the typical leadership adventure of bonding with other team members. Now, something you need to know about me is, although I enjoy the outdoors, I have never been like the said, quote, team building programs kind of girl. All right, it's never been my ambition to fall backward and trust in hope and prayer that my teammates will catch me. I don't have faith or fun on a zip line, nor do I relish the option of being dropped off in the woods and, with clues, find my way back to the mess hall. No, my idea of team building is going to the beach with my friends, eating lunch, talking, and looking for shells. That's team building. In this leadership adventure I found myself in, my guide was a new friend, and the obstacle course was through the woods and over a stream blindfolded, using only his voice to guide me. Well, I did pretty well until we had to walk over the slippery, moss-covered stones on a swiftly moving stream. Luckily, I didn't fall into the water, but wet sneakers are about as miserable as being soaking wet, and not nearly as fun. The good news is we did complete the course in good time, and as we stood on the hollowed tree stump to collect our medal of survival of the course, it occurred to me that standing in water or on a stump or a stage is really about the best feeling you can have when you know you beat the odds. And through it all of us were strong enough to stand firm and unbroken. Since my last two messages have been, probably a bit hard-hitting, I wanted to see if I could find a leveling between the tough choices I've been encouraging you to make, givers need to set limits because takers never do, and let go or be dragged. So today's message of be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Be sure you put your feet in the right place and stand firm. Because the outcome, if you stand firm in your resolve to set your limits or let go, will most likely be that you will create a safe space for your hopes and dreams to thrive. Abraham Lincoln is credited with my quote for today, and in thinking of his life story, I'm sure there were many times when he, as the president, had to stand firm in the decisions he made about the direction of the country, despite the criticism he endured from others. You know, leadership's like that sometimes. It's not easy doing what you believe is right, but once a decision is made to stand, friend, stand firm. I know that sometimes, due to the strain of carrying it all and the energy that it takes to bear the load, it doesn't seem worth the hassle to make the decision to stand firm, because you'll be pushed and jostled and belittled into believing that there will be no harm in giving just a little bit here to make life a little bit easier there. And if you give in, most likely nothing dire will happen. At least that's what the lie of conventional wisdom would say to you. But unless you've been down that slippery slope in giving in and giving in and giving in, it's hard to believe just how quickly the day will come when you wake up and wonder, how did I end up here? At the bottom again, or in trouble again, especially when you promised yourself you would stay away from it all. I'm always saddened when I see and hear of so many good-hearted people who are lulled into believing that they can withstand the immense pressure of the tears of a business partner, a loved one, or ex-loved one, when they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're being played again. And don't be fooled into thinking that by giving in this time, you can keep the peace. Peace doesn't survive on shifting sand. It has to have a solid foundation. I know some that are listening today are going to think, well, Deb, I just don't understand your situation. That's a universal response. And you would be correct in a sense. But I would counter that if you stood strong to those who are using you, they would have to make a choice of changing, which is unlikely, or find someone else to steal from. And yes, I am strong in my choice of the word steal, because that's what it is. Stealing your time, which is limited. In some cases, stealing your money, because of course they can't pay the rent, the bills, the fill in the blank. And no doubt, it's important and needed stuff, but you don't need to pay. Or they are clever enough to steal the last few fragments of your broken heart, because you opened the door and they walked in and they made themselves at home again. And be aware, they figured out that by keeping you on shifting sand, you'll never find the stability to hold firm to your resolve. So, what will it take for you to put your feet in the right place and stand firm? If you remember from a few weeks ago, you can't just think you can wing it and push through. It's never that easy. So remember, wise actions take pre-planning, or this resolve will blow up, leaving a greater mess than when you started. Putting your feet in the right place and standing firm is not about being mean or unkind or uncaring. It's about being strong in your resolve to love from afar, protect yourself with boundaries, and acknowledge that the relationship has changed. 1, 2, 3. That's it. For many who find themselves in these tough positions, I'd venture to guess that there was a time when, by your own actions, you limped along on shifting sand. And because of that, there may be some fault on your part. Yeah, of course, you could have done things differently in the beginning. That was a long time ago. And the place where you find yourself standing today is miles from where and how it all began. Imagine what would have happened if you had planted your feet and stood firm. You might have survived the struggles of the marriage, the hardship of the business, the pressures of life, especially when dealing with your kids, who are adamant about sowing their wild oats. My message is focused on the mature relationship of those who know better and still act like they're 12. These are the ones you need to draw the line in the sand with and stand firm if you want to live in peace. I've come to believe that what makes this so hard is that we live in a society that doesn't like boundaries and many times refuses to acknowledge them. This generation's favorite word is why. And if you can't answer with a substantial reason to settle their curiosity, then they'll just go do what they want. It's a lot like when we grew up. I mean, think about it. From a young age, many of us were told the sky's the limit. We were encouraged to explore the wide open road. We were given limitless refills of what life had to offer. So now, when you put up a boundary that is firm and doesn't shift with the wind, you'll be asked, how could you? You don't care about me. What happened to my freedom? Well, what happened is that, more often than not, they abused the gift they were given in love for their well-being. Nothing more, nothing less. And the way you settle it is by putting your feet in the right place and standing firm through the storms of life. Decisions made early to plant your feet and stand firm will protect you and your reputation in the end. Think about the associate who wants to cut corners to save a few dollars, never thinking it will matter or they'll be caught. Or a vendor who delivers 96% of the product and keeps a bit back because it's just business and no one will notice. Or the leader, due to lack of integrity, takes more than is really allotted since they have the corner office. Or the spouse who flirts for attention until they find themselves in a compromising situation. I've got stories, you've got stories, of good people who started out well, but ended badly because they didn't give much thought to standing firm, thinking they could outsmart the situation, until one day they couldn't. And it all caught up with them. And then we read about it in the news and watch their tearful confession continuously stream online. It gets old. It's surprising to note that many in this day and age see being forthright, honest, honorable, having integrity is really just a nice idea, but not the norm. And if you listen, you'll hear all sorts of reasons as to why people push against the limiting, stifling, restrictive, proverbial line in the sand when it comes to getting their entitlement. But no matter what reasons people choose to make up to move the ancient boundary line so they can maneuver around the stated system of protocol, a person of moral code and conduct should strive to live above the low bar set by others who are limping along on shifting sand. A person of integrity will walk through the oceans of water to find a firm footing on the shore of respect and honesty. Listen, if we all did our part by putting our feet in the right place and standing firm, we'd be strong enough to reach out to those who are in danger of being caught in the shifting sand and falling in the water. You can only help if you have a firm foothold to pull them to safety and help them cross to the other side so they can set a new foundation, to rebuild a broken business and life and family. It's the only way to have a lasting impact to reach them. And friend, that will only happen when you, yes, you, I'm talking to you today, put your feet in the right place and then stand firm. I know, another tough love message, but friends, it's got to be said. We have too many of our friends and family who are just one step away from damage. So we've got to be the voice of reason. We have to be the voice of love. And because you are a good person, you are a wise and smart and caring person, you might be the only person they'll listen to, the only voice they will hear, the only person they will trust. I'm counting on you. I'm Deb Sofield. You've been listening to, believe it or not, Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. Friend, I want you to join me next week so we can continue the journey together as we work towards a better day. And remember, I don't care what the world says. I want you to know that I care about you. I care about you because I believe you can do big things. I believe you can help others stand firm. And I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow that dream together. I know you can do it, and I'll be here to help. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.